To know of a better party than this?
Hello there.
Hello there. Live once again, late in the week, episode 5. So much going on in the world of just movies, TV shows, TV movies. Did you guys watch Palm Springs? Amazing. So good. We're going to talk about that today, though. But we are going to do... we've got to talk about something. There was an announcement recently from Christian Harloff of the Movie Trivia Schmodown. So he finally announced that yours truly is going to be entering the singles division Ultimate Schmodown tournament. And that is going to be my first time competing solo without Vanessa. If you don't know, we have competed before in the Movie Trivia Schmodown multiple times. We were actually in the Ultimate Schmodown team tournament. What did we do when we were there? What did we do when we were there?
We broke the brackets.
Broke the brackets. Together.
Bracket breakers.
Bracket busters.
There you go.
And you can see actually those matches on SEN Live, SEN's YouTube channel for the Schmodown. But yeah, I'm going in the tournament solo. My manager, in case you guys did not know, my manager is the Sam Levine of Freaks and Geek fame, of Inglourious Bastards. But for us, it was always Pilgrim Boy from the Aquabats Super Show. That wasn't
already
it.
Dropping
that
the
wasn't
ball
it. This is it.
There's no pineapples left in Detroit.
That's my manager, Sam Levine, and he's leading me and a few others into this tournament. They have a bunch of different factions split up, team members from within each faction going in to battle for movie trivia supremacy. And I'm terrified because the memory is good when it comes to all the movies I grew up with, but trying to cram in more newer stuff, that's where I'm having some trouble. So she's kind of been spouting out some questions to me every single day.
Don't tell them that. I'm on a different faction.
Yeah, we got to help each other, though. You know what I mean? It's like when they come up with alliances in, like, Survivor or The Challenge, and then you get to the end, it's like, then I'm going to take you down.
That's true.
Sort of thing. But, yeah, I'll be in the tournament. That's big news. A lot of people breaking it down, talking about it, all those after shows. You guys are killing it right now. We are not a part of that group anymore in terms of after shows because it's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of heart. And they are killing it right now. We just can't, unfortunately, when it comes down to it. But comments. We ran into a little bit of a pickle last time we were on late. Almost said better late than never. Haven't done that in a little while.
Yes. Thank you so much, last time for posting all of your comments in the chat. However, for us to kind of go through them, to make sure that your comment gets seen, post it to Streamlabs, or a super chat, or at the end of our stream where we're able to kind of focus more on the questions.
Yeah, it'll definitely get your comment read with super chats or with Streamlabs donations because you guys are definitely a talkative bunch. So first up on the agenda, like I said, there's a lot going on. This one was announced, I feel like it was last week, but it was maybe towards the end of last week. Jared Leto is possibly going to be joining up in Tron 3.
Jared Leto.
First of all, First of all, Tron 3. Like, that's kind of the big news that just could have dropped on its own, and I would have been like, hey,
cool.
Okay, makes sense.
Right.
You're investing a lot into the ride at an additional park. You have one already. Now you're putting it from Shanghai into the Magic Kingdom.
Right, which I'm super excited to ride eventually.
Right, and we're planning to go there next year, but obviously things are in balance when it comes to the whole pandemic and everything going on. But yeah, it absolutely makes sense that they would make a Tron 3. I mean, you guys... You did good with the second one. There was a little bit left to be desired when it came down to the CGI. But when it came down to getting back into that world and giving us an innovative stylistic look at what they did with the original Tron movie to bringing it into Tron Legacy, yeah, all that worked. I bought it. You can't have people come back, and watch something that isn't captivating visually if it's the same style as the very first Tron movie. I'd come back. But it is a little hard to watch to get those people to come back in and check it out because it was innovative back then. It's a step above Last Starfighter in terms of the CG, and that's already rough. And I love the Last Starfighter.
Now, granted, the movie itself, like when I first heard that they, Leto was kind of in talks to be in the movie, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, well, that's curious. I would rather have Cillian Murphy come back from Tron Legacy. He had like a very small part of that movie, but I was hoping...
Edward Dillinger.
That one.
Edward Dillinger Jr. It definitely makes sense that they would have Cillian Murphy make a return because they did end up setting him up in the Tron Legacy film to come back in and take on a role, not only just a role as, the antagonist, because he's got to be the antagonist because he is the son of Ed Dillinger. And David Warner was so good in villainous roles back then. I loved him in My Best Friend is a Vampire. If you never saw that one, he's like the Van Helsing type that's going to try and kill the vampires in the movie. But for the most part, Lovejoy in Titanic.
Yeah.
Would you say that's like your first iteration of David Warner?
Yeah,
like
that's
where
my
you
first
met
experience of when I first met him was in Titanic.
That's and for me, him in Tron is definitely one of the ways that I would love to see carried on because it's more so. It's not Clue where he's fighting himself and he's going into a whole digital copy of himself. Which granted that's coming from the first movie too, Clue. But when it comes to bringing in an antagonist that's going to make it feel like it's connected to something, it would end up being Ed Dillinger, and maybe he could have been the one that they were going up against, or at least Ed Dillinger Jr. is programming the master control. What was he, master controller? In the actual in the game, So I would love to see Cillian Murphy make his return and definitely put up a fight as the villain if they were to go ahead and bring in Jared Leto as the protagonist.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that?
Jared
Leto.
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
Either way, it's Jared Leto. Like, I could take him, I could leave him. Like, I like the saying where I like nothing him because, like, I don't have really emotion. Like, when they say, oh, Jared Leto's going to be in something, I'm like, cool. Like, there's just... He doesn't draw me, but it, like, doesn't take away from wanting to see a movie, so... He
has a incredibly strong following. Like, it's a cult following. Have you seen the things he does out in, like, the desert and the crazy random places?
Yeah.
He has got devoted and loved fans. Like, they absolutely adore him. Some a little delusionally. We've met one. We worked with one. But when it comes down to Jared Leto, like... I think he would bring an intensity to that role, that world of Tron. I don't know if he needs to be, the main character. I mean, Olivia Wilde and Jared Hudlin could come back, and I would be absolutely fine with that. Have them be the protagonists, or you can push that story aside and just carry on in the world.
Story.
Yeah, you don't really need to go that way. But one thing that you do have to bring back. No matter what. Like, I think that the Tron Legacy soundtrack is absolutely amazing. It makes the film better for me. I could listen to that soundtrack all the time. I also have the deconstructed, like, remix version of the soundtrack, too, and I listen to that one all the time, too. So the music itself is amazing. So I'm hoping that they can collaborate again for Tron and bring back Daft Punk. I respect the hell out of that score. It's not one that I can listen to over and over, and I think it's because I didn't buy into the movie as, I didn't really feel the experience when I watched it. I remember I watched it in the theaters. I was like, it looks good. It looks beautiful. There was something about it that I just didn't get wrapped up into, so I didn't go on to listen to the score from there. Anytime I listen to the score, it's because you would put it on.
Right.
So, yeah, but Daft Punk, I listened to the hell out of Daft Punk. So I absolutely would. If there's anybody that's coming back to do it, it has to be Daft Punk. Maybe even have their characters in there doing a little something. It didn't even have to be them.
They were at the club.
Correct. Yeah, they were a part of it. It was very cleverly well done. It made sense. It was organic growth in the sense of, yeah, you found the guys that can do your score. You found the guys that already push forth that Tron type imagery just as themselves. So putting them in the movie, having them there, and they're freaking spinning at a club. Come on, like it's really, really well done. Right. In terms of choosing Daft Punk to come back. So, yeah, absolutely. I would definitely get on board for a Tron 3. It would make the ride feel so much more current, and it can last a little longer. We know what happens to rides when they become basically thrown out of pop culture. You know, they get replaced, they get revised, they get retreaded, rethemed. So Tron definitely has a longer life to live with an additional movie coming. We always said that they were going to have to make another movie. Right. You got to keep that going, especially if you're willing to invest so much into the rides themselves, you know? Now, granted, there's only certain movies that they can get away with that where they make a legacy ride, and it's like Indiana Jones, even though there wasn't an Indiana Jones in the foreseeable future, but it's like, oh yeah, we can coast off of the adventures he took us on a ride forever, because it's something that people will always want to experience, and definitely one of my
I would love I think they have one in Paris, Disneyland Paris, but
the
Indiana
roller coaster
Jones
ride.
Roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean it's the theming on it is not really apparent. They definitely have a lot left to be desired when it comes to that ride, at least over there, versus the one that is in Anaheim. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. And we've got a $1 donation from Garth McMurray. In the new Tron movie, I'm curious to see them explore Olivia Wilde's character. Absolutely. Quora, who went from being a program to being a real-life human, does she have the same biology? Does she have any powers? Yes. Can she have kids? How does she adjust to our world? Yeah, okay, our world. That is an entirely new concept. It's like Jumanji, except it's like kind of in reverse, where we started out with the characters coming out of Jumanji into the real world and being able to have applications in our universe. And then they went Tron ways, and they said going into the game is where you go. And really, you don't even think anymore about things coming out. Now, in the most recent Tron, they're kind of going back to where they were, where it's like, oh, by the way, things are escaping. And Tron, it's like we've always thought about going into the world.
Right.
She's out. She comes out.
The premise of the whole second movie, too, was them trying to find a way to get to Flynn, and then when you know his son comes in, now they're trying to find a way to get out. So having them come into this world would be interesting.
It definitely would be a kind of a cool way to go, because she is out, and who's going to come for her? I mean, obviously you got to have Ed Dillinger Jr. in there, because I mean he's such an arrogant programmer. And I know I stomped over what you were saying by playing the video. That's why I should have labeled it that it was a video, but I didn't. But let's get into the comments. Let's see how much Doug Reamer cares about kids. Hi, can you react to Greenland trailer? Kieran, you've been asking so much. I haven't seen the Greenland trailer yet, so I'm not opposed to it, but it's one of those things where it's like, one, it's Gerard Butler. Two, it's, what is it? It's not an earthquake or a tornado. Is it a tornado? I have no clue. That's the cool thing about not knowing before you watch a trailer. It's a disaster movie with Gerard Butler. That tells you a lot, but it also tells you can have fun with it. When you stop putting it on such a high, mantle, it could be something that you can have fun and enjoy. So you keep asking for Greenland. If everybody else in the comment section says they want to see a Greenland trailer, then yeah, we'll definitely consider it. Hello, laters. Julian joining us from Twitter. Hey guys. Gallegos. Hey, Gallegos, were you on the Gallegos. Why does everyone call you Gallegos? Is it Gallego? Because down here, that L turns into a ya. That double L. Gallegos. Awesome. Not yet, but I'm hearing great things. No, I don't have Hulu available in France. You should. You should figure out a way to watch it. What I mean is, you shouldn't have Hulu. Find a way to find Hulu. No, find a way to watch that movie. Hopefully they'll put it on VOD or something and you can watch it. Watch The Beach House. It's also very good on Shudder. That's what Tim Franco's been watching. Changing up my Fantasy League faction by dropping someone to add me. Thanks, Garth. It's probably not a smart move, but we'll find out. If the questions land my way, it will work out, because I have a lot of deep cut knowledge in the Schmodown, or at least when it comes to movie trivia. But damn, is it so like...
It's very like niche. Like there's this particular types of movies that he knows like back and forth. So it really is just if he gets those answers that he's not really particularly familiar with that he can study up on those. But again, studying for a broad range of movie trivia, it can be very difficult, to the point where I feel like you have to just kind of focus on the wheel slices too. Right. Like that's where you can okay, these are all the wheel slices that are offered. Let me try pinpointing this slice, and this slice.
But movie release dates, it's like in every movie ever made, what's the release date for that one specific movie? Really? Where do I begin? Because that wasn't something I was paying attention to growing up. I do kind of feel like it's like the particle streams from Ghostbusters. It's just going wild. But man, it cuts deep where it lands, but still there's that possibility of it possibly not landing correctly, or our knowledge is similar between us and the other competitor, in which case we end up crossing those streams. But, moving on, we've got, I'm changing up my, we read, see, I go right back to where I was. What the hell is wrong with me?
So now we're at 6. Congrats, Robert. Can't wait for your match. Good luck, bro.
Thanks. Who was that? Mike Good. Good man, that Mike Good. Your manager looks like the singer Micah. Micah, my manager? Oh! Yeah, my manager. I forgot. I already said it at the top of the show, and I forgot. Sam Levine is my manager. It's so weird. It's so cool. Gracias, Sheriff. You guys watch Club Dread? I saw Club Dread in theaters opening night. It was like 6 of us there. But yeah, Sam Levine is a big part of Club Dread, and he's a jerk, but he's hilarious. Yeah. In that movie. Yeah. I loved everything about Tron Legacy. The story was half-baked. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 for me. Yeah, man. Freaking, yeah, he's a scientist that's there helping them, and he helps them make the solution to help them change back, and they give it to Toka and Razar to change back. What is it? The Mighty Donut? I forgot what kind of donut it was. Yeah, it should have been Bebop and Rocksteady. I don't know what the hell they were thinking in TMNT2. They
wanted to change it up.
Time After Time! Yes! Yeah, Jack the Ripper, Time After Time. I remember that movie when I was a kid, and essentially is it Sherlock Holmes going after Jack the Ripper, and they travel through time to modern day, and he's trying to track him down. And they made a show about it. There was actually a show that was on, I think it was on ABC, and yeah, I mean the concept of it is something that
I thought the name of the show was different.
You're thinking there's another time travel show. It's like Timeline or something. It's coming back. It's got like a movie coming. But yes, there was another show about time travel, and Malcolm McDowell is Sherlock Holmes, and David Warner is Jack the Ripper. But when they go back in time to modern day, they end up battling it out, and freaking David Warner is just so brutal. Yeah, like 2019, Time After Time. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, moving on.
Yes. So we've got, people just talking amongst themselves in the chat together. Gallego says, the grid has been my ringtone for the past 10 years. That is a good song. I do like the whole score. I think mine, I don't remember what my favorite, Downfall? Or I gotta pull it up. There's one song that I absolutely love, but it's the scene where they're at the club and they're fighting and they're like, oh crap, what's gonna happen? And then you got Jeff Bridges coming in there and he goes boo, and then you have the whole song. I like that song. It's very short, but I like that song. And I can't remember the fall.
Tina L, yes, hello there. Really enjoying your live stream. Is your Amazon wish list updated? I saw items listed from 2017 or 2018, or you just never received those items. Yeah, it did get updated, partly because we're not real upfront with it. Not a lot of people even know we have an Amazon wish list unless you read the description in this video.
Yeah.
But yes, we actually have had people buy stuff. For Jake Hammer bought us some gear before, and we took those off the list. So if anything's on the list, it
means we have not.
We have not, but we've also haven't asked.
Possibly.
We haven't asked anybody.
Unless we bought it for ourselves and we just forgot to take it off the list.
It's possible, yeah. I'd have to go back. I'll have to revisit the list shortly. Tron 3 on Disney Plus or theater. I would say theater because of the visual marvel that it is offering. I would want to go big. Tron has been used in Test Track 2.0. Yeah, it's cool that they updated it. It's not as generic or plain looking with like the grid type mentality, but I don't know. I guess you could say it feels like Tron, or it is Tron. I don't know if they use the music or not, but it reminds me of more like the 13th floor, where the end of the universe is Tucson, Arizona. Check it out. Vincent D'Onofrio, he's pretty good in that movie. The only thing Indy has in Orlando is the Epic, the Epic Stunt Spectacular. It's true. And a hell of a piece of theme park history that it is. It's one that I remember growing up. Steve playing Indiana Jones in that Full House episode when they go to Disney World.
He's playing like basically all the characters, including Aladdin.
Yeah, he plays Aladdin. And it's well done.
Yeah.
Hope Jeff Bridges comes back for Tron 3, Brian Newsbaum. Absolutely. You can have him in there, especially now because he's basically God. He is elevated to a whole new plane of existence inside the grid. Speaking of Tron, you've seen the episode of Pop Culture on Disney Plus. We watched a whole bunch of them.
We watched a bunch of them. We have not gotten to the one about Tron.
We jumped around.
We did jump around, but yes, it's still on the list to watch. Garth
McMurray, yeah, Dillinger can find out Cora is from the computer program world and he's curious, kidnaps her. Absolutely, it would definitely add a real world element where we're not just like, get us to the grid already. It feels like there's something left in the real world that we can flush out in that universe. Matt G, 149. Thank you, Matt G. Appreciate it. As always, so far he's come in every single time and dropped off his lunch money to us. And guys, yeah, we're now that money is going to a new item. We bought it. It was supposed to be here a week ago, but they end up delaying it over and over because everyone's buying them.
Yeah.
And it's going to help us be able to pop up the videos a lot easier than it was, or at least that it is right now. Because right now it's just it's really hard to get these.
Are you
videos
sure about
to pop
that?
up. Are you sure about that? Yeah, see, even if I wanted to do that, it would end up taking forever, and there's a bit of a delay on it.
Are you sure about that?
And it messes up if you do it this way through.
Oh man.
Yeah, so let's try that.
Are
again.
you sure about that?
See, if we had that little button thing, Stream Deck XL is what we're getting for the techies that want to go and check it out. Thanks, Garth. Haha, it's always been followed. My brother. We're coming to the end of the comments. Finally, the traditional pre-fight donut. Pre-fight donut? That's what it was. The pre-fight donut. Great thing in France. Thanks. That's Schmodown knowledge right there that you just handed over to me, Gallegos.
There's no
my
S
fight.
at the end.
Gallegos. His
I know, but it
his
sounds
screen
like
name
you're
is
saying
Gallegos.
S.
Yeah, with Gallegos. There you go. Est.
You
at
have
the
to
end
like
of it.
emphasize that.
Emphasize. Enunciate.
Emphasize. Teeth to the lips. Or tongue.
Back at the tongue, teeth, and the lips.
Teeth in the lips.
Yeah, I
back at the
keep
tongue.
telling him Lucky Eric is the editor and he'll fix that for the matches. Your wife is smoking hot. I don't have a wife, yo.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't.
Assumptions. Let's go on to number 2. Now this one is going to be more of a review.
Yes, the next thing on our docket today is the movie Palm Springs. We just recently watched it yesterday, and it is on Hulu. So if you want to watch, I'm sure you could probably buy it somewhere else.
Maybe.
But if you want to watch, watch it on Hulu. It's shorter movie than normal.
1:30, an hour and 30 minutes.
So it's not terribly long, but I really do like it. I think that it is a fun movie to watch.
Simplified.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, Groundhog Day. It's Groundhog Day mixed in with the indie style of like Seeking a Friend for the End of the World or Safety Not Guaranteed. Like it has that fun indie feel to it where it's very clever, very witty, but at the same time there is some heart. Yeah. And you throw that into Groundhog Day and they approach it very differently, and there's a mystical aspect to it, and it is so good. It's really, it comes down to the relationship that Andy Samberg forges with Kristen Milotti from How I Met Your Mother, Black Mirror, and then she's in an amazing episode of Mythic Quest, a standalone episode of Mythic Quest with Jake Johnson.
I totally forgot that she was in that episode of Mythic Quest, because I was like, wait, are you talking about Black Mirror? But then yes, she is in Mythic Quest.
Yeah, and them together stuck in this time loop. Just watch the trailer. The trailer gives you a good idea, and if you are gonna watch the movie, don't watch the trailer. So you're not waiting for certain things to happen. But it's not just the two of them on this ride too, right? Because it's all the other people surrounding them that makes it fun, because they're going through all the different iterations of their characters.
I love a good
play
Groundhog Day story.
Yeah, I mean it
infinite time loop.
There was a movie too back in the day with Harlan Williams. I think it was like Becoming Dick or something, where he basically goes through the same thing. His girlfriend was Elizabeth Berkley, but when he wakes up, they're broken up, and he's rich and famous because he's like a comedian on TV, and he's just like, it's a little wait, that was an amnesia story. Never mind.
That's like yesterday.
Yeah, but anyways, it's not just the two of them, Kristen Milotti and Andy Samberg. J.K. Simmons is actually a part of it, and he does such a good job in this movie too, to where J.K. Simmons, like anything that he pops up in, it's just, he's a delight. It's a delight to see him there, like La La Land. Yeah. Like he's
briefly there for a little bit, but he makes an impact that you remember that he's in the movie.
You absolutely do.
But yeah, he's also in this movie. He does make a significant portion of the movie to figure out like what's going on and like backstory. I do love the ups and downs that these characters go through when they're going through this like process of realizing that they're gonna start this day over and over and over and over and over again, like trying to comprehend how they're gonna survive or how they're gonna manage to do that. And you can kind of see like the decline in certain characters, and then you see the realization of certain things, and it's great. And there isn't a whole lot of soundtrack to this or score to this movie, but when it does hit, it does so well to boost the I guess energy of that scene.
It's got an indie feel. Like that's the thing, those movies like Seeking a Friend for the End of the World and Safety Not Guaranteed, it's like the music is very indie. It has a feel to it. Little Miss Sunshine, there are aspects that make it feel like, this was probably put out by Fox Searchlight. You could just feel it when you're watching it. And
I do like that feeling.
Yeah, and the music does do a good job. And yes, the best part about it is you got J.K. Simmons and Andy Samberg together again, because they were already together once. And I love you, man.
But you should probably go to Single Scram.
See, Vanessa knows. This is
so it doesn't mess up.
Yeah, this is
Robbie is your other best friend? Correct. And Hank Mardukas.
They were together once already, and I love you, man. They're together once again here, and it's so well done. I would just say, when you guys do eventually check it out, get to halfway credit. There's a halfway credit
there
scene.
Is something that happens in the movie, and I would have been so, like, it would have dropped it a little bit for me had they not acknowledged it. And they do acknowledge it in a clever way, instead of being it, like, full in your face. So it made the movie better for me.
We were screaming at the movie.
Yeah, we were.
We were yelling at the
like
movie.
as soon as the credits start, we're like, but what about that?
Yeah. So there is an aspect of the film. They
it always
leave
goes
it fulfilling.
right, and it always goes to when you're talking about time travel or
Right.
time loops. Like you're always thinking about certain things, and even at the end, we're like, but why did this happen? If this doesn't happen, and it just hurts my brain.
It does. Yeah, it does. We broke it down, and we're like, oh, there are certain aspects of it we can't.
And then we came to the
talk
conclusion.
About. We can't
you know
think
what?
about.
You can't really think
Yeah, you
about it.
can't
Let's
think
just
of-
enjoy the movie.
Yeah, because we did at first, but then you start breaking it down. You know,
And
you're
then
going all primer on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you start going through a wormhole of theories.
And I would definitely watch it again. It is a fun movie that you could just have on in the background and kind of laugh at. Is that your mom? Your mom is in the chat. Hello.
Oh, yeah,
Keep up
my
the great
mom.
content. Nicole, Mike, and Patricia.
So all three of them were watching. Hi, Mom.
Hi, guys. Let's see. Let's go back up to...
And sister. And Mike. Hello.
Garth loved Palm Springs. So fun. And J.K. Simmons is great in it, isn't he? Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a positive day. Thank you, Aaron Booth. Ghost. Here's a little for the traditional pre-fight donut before your first match, guys. When we start filming in studio, let's get a pre-match donut. Hell yeah, man. That'd be a lot of fun. You'll find us at Eric, so you already know where that is. You're constantly there. Eric, the editor of the Schmodown, amazing guy. Lets us sleep in his house.
But I would like local donuts.
Like
Not
Voodoo?
like-
Or Ray's?
No,
Ray's Donuts?
Yes,
There you
I
go.
would love to have a Ray's donut.
So far.
Done.
So
I know
far.
it's so far, but I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah, I agree. At least once. You got to at least do it once. I don't
Yeah.
have the Hulu in France. Saw the trailer, like a copy of Happy Death Day. Yeah, okay. I didn't even think of
It's
Happy
more
Death
so
Day.
like in the way of Happy Death Day because she does repeat the day over and over
Right.
again. But the stories are completely different from Happy Death Day to Palm Springs.
And that's what's clever about the movies that I think that do a good job that are in the time loop genre is that they've approached the stories very originally in the time loop format. So it feels original and it feels like something that is fresh to your eyes because they're having fun with it and going a completely different way with it.
Right.
So that's what I really liked about this movie. So Ghost, your $5 is going into the pot to get us more equipment to run this stream a little bit more fluently.
Yes.
Let's see. Great episode of Mythic Quest showing the history of the company. Right. And it wasn't even the company. It was the history of the building. Like it was.
Yeah, it was more
the
so
bones,
the building itself.
The bones of the building. You know, that houses all these.
And
these
it's very
companies.
possible that like that story could come back and they have some ties to.
Of course,
to it
I was
because-
hoping for that.
Because technically they do, because it's Montreal that does also Mythic Quest as well.
It's true.
So
No, you're
they do
right.
have
You're
ties
right.
to
It
it.
is company in terms of what that higher art company has done. So I guess they swapped out one company creating games for them with another one. So very brilliantly done episode. Christy Malati and Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson.
I love Jake Johnson. Safety Not Guaranteed. I know a lot of people love him from New Girl, but Safety Not Guaranteed. He does such a good job. And
Jurassic World.
Jurassic
that one
World.
part. He should have been in the.
Should have been
second
in
one.
the second one. Would have made it so much better. It absolutely would have made sense for him, but I get it. He was busy. So great episode. How y'all doing today? Hey,
doing just
how y'all
great.
doing,
Thank
my
you.
hunker downers? Leslie Jordan.
Leslie Jordan. Like if you watch some of the things he does on his Instagram, I love it. Well, shit. How y'all doing?
How y'all doing? Brittany, getting all crazy for Brittany. Yeah, Leslie Jordan. We could do a whole after show about Leslie Jordan. So let's see. Kate gave Vanessa a quick shout out on SEN earlier this week. Wanted to bring that up. She should shout out in this direction. Shout out over this way. Let her know. I have a feeling, being that I have no clue what's going on. If she's talking to Kate, I have no clue that it's happening. But I think that she'll end up getting put into the teams tournament.
If they know a way to get to the team.
If they know, yeah.
If
I
they
think
they
they'll
said that
figure
they
it out.
found out they possibly have a way of doing teams
Right.
over the interweb. So yeah, we'll see.
So apparently there's a French movie as well called Mon Inconnu, My Unknown. Thank you, Julian, for letting us know that. I had no clue. Now I want to watch it. My connection is crap right now, but just wanted to say hey and thanks for the vids. Absolutely missing the What We Do in the Shadows reactions. Safe down there in Tucson, Arizona. Oh, yeah, thanks, Patrick. I miss What We Do in the Shadows, too. The cast just did, like, a watch-along, too, where they watched 2 episodes. And, it was so much fun. Nandor and Guillermo just have an amazing time together. And on screen, like, they just have so much fun. All of them do. And freaking Mark Prosh, who plays Colin Robinson, is just so freaking dry and hilarious, and just his regular humor, just as him doing commentary for the episode. I think it's on IGN's YouTube channel. I know everyone's like, IGN, screw those guys right now for stealing content, you jerks. Don't be stealing content as we reactors react to other people's content.
But we give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely, we bring fans to What We Do in the Shadows that had no clue.
I really want a good What We Do in the Shadows shirt. Like, I don't want a generic one that's like the poster or something, but like artistically a good shirt that has them doing like what they do best on the shirt. It'd be so nice.
So artists, get on that. I know there's a real good one. It's like Bat, where it looks like Mario and it just says
I already told him that he already has like a Mario one, but it's the Mandalorian is dressed as, like, Mario is dressed as the Mandalorian, so he's all about that cross reference from the Mandalorian.
A little bit of
Mario.
Clever. Yeah, I like a little bit of clever. It just so happens
I think
that
my
it works for
crossover
Mario.
shirts are cleverer.
Cleverly. Drink a little bit of that cleverly. Beverly. I want to try some, though. I have a feeling I'd probably like it, as I'm gagging from drinking the Beverly. If you don't know, Beverly, it's a drink that they sell over at the Coca-Cola Experiences in Disney World. And now I think it's only at Disney Springs that you can get it because Epcot is closed, and that's where you can go to get it before. Safety Not Guaranteed is one of my favorites. That ending scene is just so amazing. The music, the imagery, you don't get to see it happen. It kind of happens off camera, and then you see like the reactions to it happening. I love Safety Not Guaranteed. Who's that? Mark Duplass as well, right? Isn't he the time traveler? Also get Greta music in Safety Not Guaranteed. Greta as in what is it?
It just says Greta music.
Greta music? Is Greta the composer? I'm confused. You lost me. See a message above, which I meant to send as a super chat.
Right,
Peace,
which
everyone.
we already said about Tucson, Arizona.
Patrick O'Malley, thanks, man. $5 going right back into the pot. I thought, I was like, am I missing a reference? Greta's music. It's like it's green, super green. What movie is that from? I just barely realized that was a saying in, I'm going to say it now, The Fifth Element, where he's green, super green. Yes, Mark Duplass from The League. I've never seen The League, actually. Partly because I don't partake in any way for fantasy leagues. Obviously, you do, Garth, because you traded somebody out to put me in your fantasy league for the Schmodown. I just get really confused, honestly, when it comes to the fantasy leagues. Dark Greetings, Fifth Element, 1997. Yeah, see, Gallegos, you knew that. He had that. All right, moving on to our next topic.
What's the next story to listen to?
You were going to quote Christian, but then you didn't want to steal.
I didn't want to say
We say it all the time. When we're talking, and then all of a sudden we just kind of switch, we always do the, what's the next story on the agenda? Christian Harloff, man, he throws out some of those quotes, and they are quotable to where just in our regular life. But we don't want to do it here because it feels like you're copying.
Right.
But quoting that is like quoting a movie to us because we use Republican credits. They're no good here.
Oh, that's
Jamie Costa
so
on the movie
so
Threesome
random.
with Christian Harloff, where Jamie Costa played the Emperor, but it accidentally starts sounding like George Bush.
Well, no, more so what happened was he was talking about
Republican.
like credits.
Yeah, he says.
But instead of saying Republic credits, he
Yeah.
says Republican credits, and Christian was like Republican, and then that's when he did his Bush impersonation. They're no good
credits.
here.
They're no good here. Jamie Costa, man. So
If you could find that it's probably on YouTube somewhere. It's Fandango.
Yeah.
It's
we'll put it in the comment section of this video so you can reference there if you want to watch it. Fifth Element, 1997. Okay, don't need the sequel about Ready Player 2. So, Ready Player 1. Thanks for getting us back on track, Julian. Ready Player 2 was announced by Ernest Cline. Ready Player 1 I have read multiple times. It is one of my favorite books of all time. obviously, growing up, referential humor, the 80s, the 90s, but primarily the 80s, because that's when I was, like, really forging my brain. It's all over that book, that first book. So I understand when people pretty much saw what the movie was going to bring, and it's like, oh, it's just, a regurgitation of everything pop culture related.
I mean, everything Spielberg majority of the time too.
Yeah,
there's it's 80s nostalgia majority of the time. I love the book too. I love Ready Player One, the book. I think the book is way better than the movie. The movie's fine, but I prefer to go back to the book because just the way the book is played out, I enjoy it more. And I feel like they rushed it too much in the movie. Granted, yes, there are times where you have to do certain things to because not everything can translate very well to movie.
Right.
But I do prefer the book.
I mean, there's a Revenge of the Nerds planet. Come on. Like, there is a planet that they go to, or at least, a region.
Talk about.
That is, it's Revenge of the Nerds, the war games, Lady Hawk. Like, there's just so many other things that are included. Deep cut stuff.
I think the one thing that I would have loved to see, but I know that because, transitioning to movies and getting the rights and all that stuff, is in the book itself. At the end, he does a whole thing where he has to go through the whole Monty Python and the Holy Grail movie to win. Like, he has to say word by, like, verbatim what they do in the movie. So it would have been kind of hilarious to see that happen. But obviously, at least you got the holy hand grenade in there somewhere. Right,
but it would have been more connected if he did 1, 2, 5 and then threw the grenade. And that's the only way the grenade will explode is if you say 1, 2, 5 and you throw it. So, there's little things that I had issue with. For instance, Rush is a very big part of the game. And Rush of the book. And Rush is a little bit a part of the movie, but yet they do not use Rush at all whatsoever in the Ready Player One movie, especially when the final fight is going on, and they just do, we're not going to take it.
Twisted Sister.
Like, come on, no. If you had Tom Sawyer playing, and it's just, and they're all battling it out, and it's Rush. Do you understand the connective tissue there with the book and what it shares and what Halliday, held dear?
I will say, though, Mark Rylance?
Yeah, as Halliday.
Yes, as Halliday. I just love the way that he actually portrayed it. Granted, we didn't see a whole lot of him in the movie.
Sure.
But I do like the way that he portrayed him in the movie.
I saw here Julian asked Spielberg if he would direct it. Now, granted, it was Ernest Cline talking about a sequel to the book, which I'm incredibly excited about. We can only wonder if they will make a movie, and if they do make the movie, will they go Spielberg? I highly doubt it. Spielberg will not touch that thing ever again, other than to produce it. He'll have his name on it. He will not direct it, though. He learned his lesson with The Lost World.
Get Robert Zemeckis to do it instead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Joe Johnson.
I mean, they would do a damn good job with it, but at the same time, if you're going to do the story cleverly, granted, the villains get away and they can always come back, and that's what technically happens in the book as well. But
I'm just curious to see what the book is, and I do see Gallego talking about how you pre-ordered the audiobook for Ready Player 2, and you hope Will Wheaton comes back to read it. And I think that is one of the reasons why I do love the book so much too, is because listening to the audiobook and having Will Wheaton be the one to read it to me was actually pretty great.
Yeah, it did fit really well with Wheaton reading the book.
Yeah.
And if he does come back to read the second one, that's the only way I could read it. I need an audiobook to go with it because that's how I want to experience it. Yeah. And I do like how in the original book cover too, in the one they had the key that you've got the players trying to get. But in the Ready Player 2, you can see it down here, is they've got like a jewel that he's trying to get. So yeah, coming up with a whole new Easter egg hunt or a completely different story. It doesn't even have to go the same way. You can change the story up.
And it begs the question of whether, how far in the future is the book going to be?
Right.
You know what I mean? if it's going to be like right after that something happens, or it's going to be a couple years. We don't know until we get the the book.
Yeah, we do not know. But I am excited to get back into the world of, that's the thing, man. One of them dies in the book, and it doesn't happen in the movie. So I'm curious to continue it on with one of those characters gone. The stakes are way higher in the book. People die in the book. And in the movie, yes, people die because Sorrento blows up the stacks, and a lot of people die when Sorrento did that just to get Wade. But, in the book, it's like they're targeting them and trying to come and murder each one of them from being able to get Halliday's egg. And
also the one thing that I did not like about the movie is the fact that they're all centraled in the same area.
They're all in Ohio?
Yeah, they're all in Ohio.
Yeah, it was a worldwide thing in the book. So I'm excited to get back to the book. But one thing I do take issue with is, did you guys ever read Armada? And it was Ernest Cline's second book, or I don't know about second book, but it was the book that came after Ready Player One. And it's essentially his version of The Last Starfighter. There's some aspects of it that are straight out of The Last Starfighter, but when it comes down to it, I had issues with where we go with the book in the end and what the whole reason is behind everything that is happening, and I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it could have been one of those lightning strikes once and does it strike again, so I am a little nervous. Fanboys, I love Fanboys to death. We had a theatrical poster for Fanboys, and I had to drive up to Phoenix to go watch it because we didn't even get it down here in Tucson. But Ernest Cline, I feel like if he's taken some time, is he able to muster up that creativity once again and not have it feel like it's just in your face references? So it's kind of like bands. When you get the bands that make the first couple CDs or albums, their heart's into it because they're very tormented people at that point in time in their lives, and they use the angst to create this amazing, passionate, powerful music that you just lose yourself in the breakdowns. But then later, when it's like, oh, we got a record deal, we got to produce 2 more records for the studio. Okay, so what's song number 1? And they have to create it. It's completely different from when they just have to create it and put it to paper. Then it's passionate and I feel it and I'm going to create something.
I feel like that
love.
kind of happened a little bit with me with Panic at the Disco.
A lot of bands.
That
many bands.
That first CD was so good. Second one is okay. Third one's okay. Then it starts to pick up a little bit. But yeah, that first CD.
Yeah, I could name an endless amount. That's another after show that we should create, talking about bands and getting kicked in the face and breaking some ribs. And it was a lot of fun. It was a good time back when I had the energy and the power to do it. And Alex Fitzsimmons, Vanessa's sister, donated $10. Thank you. And you got the little, what is that, like a blue parrot? Blue pear doing a little bow with a headband. I love it.
They're about to do some yoga. That's what's happening.
Yoga. Yeah, I'm getting tired already just thinking about it. Warner's isn't going for the sequel disappointment, and Warner's broke even on the film. Yeah, that's why I don't think that Ready Player One will end up happening, because I don't think it made a whole lot of money. There was basically nobody there, and we saw it opening night. It was the night when we saw it. It was the second screening at 10 p.m., but nobody was there.
It was in the middle of the week, too. It was on
that's
Wednesday.
Not true. They screwed up at our theater. They kept flip-flopping us back and forth between theaters, so nobody knew where to sit, remember? It
was that for Ready Player?
That was Ready Player One, 100%.
Oh, God. And it was on a Wednesday, so I had to work the next day super early,
right.
But we still watched it.
Financial disappointment is what I meant. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't disappointment,
really tired
we got
to
the
think
book.
About that now.
It's also kind of a story, Ready Player One. It's the kind of story that really only kind of works in book form versus theatrical form because of the issues with all the rights and everything that you have to lock down. It's very expensive, as Mr. Dink would say from Doug. Douglas! I'd rather see Alita sequel than a Ready Player 2. I get it, man, because for me, Alita Battle Angel didn't get interesting for me until the reveal at the end, and I was like, well, now I need to know what's going to happen next. So I thought it was okay. I thought it looked great. I thought that Alita was a very lovable character that I could absolutely see moving forward, but I don't know if it's going to happen. It's kind of pricey, and Cameron's busy, and he's got Rodriguez busy as well.
Pricey movie. Avatar.
The actor that played Halliday, but man, I could have loved to see the original choice because it was supposed to be Gene Wilder. Yeah, dude, but Gene Wilder got kind of crabby towards the end of his life.
Yeah, and I think... Yeah.
I also felt like it would have been a little too on the nose, and unless Wilder was going to be... I mean, I thought that Rylance did a good job at playing like a Garth type Halliday, where he was incredibly awkward, and that's why he was pining over that girl he lost.
I think my favorite part of that too, when they were like showing his past things at the library, and it was like, check under your seat, just kidding, there's nothing there, and he was just like very straight faced when he did it, but it was supposed to be a joke. I like that scene.
Because he had fun with the role. Mark Rylance had fun with the role, and honestly, it was like I never saw Bridge of Spies, and he won an Oscar for it, but I feel like that was the one where it's like, okay, I like this guy, I could get behind him being in other roles, where up until then, he was kind of just a generic character actor for me, but when it was there as Halliday, I was like, this dude can have fun. And I'm having fun watching him, so I was definitely down. I'd be down if he were to return as well if they did a sequel, which they probably won't.
But we should probably get back on track and talk about our final thing.
Final thing is
our final story of the day, guys.
This one is very interesting because HBO Max has announced that they are going to do a series based in the world of Matt Reeves' Batman. I like how I enunciated that. Batman. And Terrence Winter is going to come in and essentially write it and produce it.
He also, if you don't know who that is, he also did Boardwalk Empire, if you liked Boardwalk Empire, and The Sopranos.
Started with The Sopranos.
So he does have some pretty good things on his belt that he could come in and we can see something pretty serious in the world of Batman. And
I have no issue whatsoever with extending a cinematic universe through series form. For instance, what they're doing right now with The Mandalorian. Yeah. Amazing. You're giving us supplemental stories to the movie that we got to go and watch, but you're putting in the amount of effort that they deserve to give us a series instead of it making it feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where we're a little bit more dissociated. You're not going to have the budget. And granted, there were a lot of TV spinoffs from films, and they all just kind of felt like they were made for TV movie versions. But, they're doing a good job more recently of that. In fact,
that high quality feel of storytelling. Yeah. That feels like you are watching something that should be on the big screen, but we're getting it on the little screen, and that's why I'm also looking forward to all of the Marvel stories that we're getting, which should be here shortly because Winter Soldier and Falcon one should be coming in August.
But we also will probably be getting a trailer in like a week or two whenever San Diego Comic-Con is. Because I have a feeling that's when you're going to end up getting a little bit better look than the 10 seconds that we saw at the Super Bowl.
I still like that 15, 10
I agree.
seconds.
I agree. I don't want a trailer
boom,
so
boom,
quickly,
boom.
you know? Give us time to marinate, salivate, and hope
because he's going to burn this whole place to the ground.
And hopefully they'll kill it. Hopefully they'll kill it with the episodes, and we'll react to those episodes too.
Right.
But when it comes to putting it into a cinematic form on a small scale, and I use small scale, loosely, because I'm sure they're going to put a lot of effort into it. But the thing is my biggest concern is, like, are you going to have the actual actors make appearances in the series? Because if you are going to be following something like Gotham Central, where you're going to have the cops, you're going to have the police department essentially be at the forefront of this story, are you going to bring in the rogues gallery of actors that played the characters for the series, so that way, at least one episode, once in a while, very sparingly, but you gotta make it feel like the henchmen and the bad guys we're going after have that top tier villain at the very top running the game, or are they gonna recast it completely and make it its own universe? Then we're just kind of in a Gotham scenario on Fox, where it's like, okay, well, it's its own thing.
Right.
But if you're gonna have it feel lived in the world of Matt Reeves' Batman, those actors need to show up here or there or use them visually somewhere to make it feel like, they're running a game. Now, granted, the cops can never really get close to those top tier villains, so there's an excuse right there for not seeing them.
Villains,
yeah, to not seeing the head honcho, because they're in a hideout. They're the ones that are causing crime. If you have some guy standing next to the Joker, you better believe the cop's going to do something about it. So I mean, they can't really have those run-ins far too often when it comes to the Rogues Gallery. But you've got Commissioner Gordon, like Jeffrey Wright is going to be Commissioner Gordon. So is Jeffrey Wright going to be a part of this series? Because he needs to be, because Gordon is going to be a big part of the police unit, at least when it comes to overseeing everything, if he's the commissioner at the time, which he more than likely is. So you're going to have all these cops and underlings, detectives, and people that are running the show have to talk to Gordon at least here or there. So bringing Jeffrey Wright in would definitely be something that would put their show on a higher level if they're connecting it to the Batman universe.
Yeah.
Reed?
No, I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see that they're coming out with something for Batman in the Gotham series, but right now I'm just kind of sitting back and letting them tell me. I want to know more before I could sit here and be like, I'm super excited about something, I want to know more about the Batman, the movie itself too, before I can get excited about a movie that's based in that area, because we don't really know a whole lot about how the Batman is gonna be, because we have, just besides some background stuff, but other than that, I really don't know what the Batman is gonna feel like to me. So I want to know how I'm gonna feel and see the Batman first before I can feel anything for this new series.
And the cool thing is Batman can pop up every once in a while because he wears a damn mask. So you've got the ability to bring in stunt work or stunt people in as Batman. And again, if a cop was standing next to Batman, he'd probably do something about it. We're going to get the relationship between Gordon and Batman in the movie. So now you're going to hear about the cop saying, what the hell is up with Gordon? Trusting this vigilante and putting that damn thing up there to, rely on this guy to do the job that we're supposed to be doing.
I think the fact that it is also going to be something for HBO Max.
Right.
So you have HBO, which you can get higher tier actors to come and play those characters.
Right.
And probably bring characters from the movie into the show. And then it's going to be on the HBO Max streaming services, which makes it even more tantalizing.
Why would you hang that there? It looks so tantalizing.
For you to come and watch it. So I feel like we will see. Just Jeffrey Wright. Right. How you're saying that he is in Westworld, so that's on HBO.
Of course. And he's making that money right now. He's sought after. Right. He is an actor, and he is an actor that brings a very delicate sense of intellect and insight to his characters. Yes. So adding him into the series would definitely be a win for them. And yeah, Gotham Central, they've already got the stories laid out, They could totally pull from the series, from the comic series, and bring that in if they want to. Cherry pick the best that they can, and go ahead and give us a top tier show that is on the level that all of us are talking about, like The Mandalorian, doing reactions to it, getting excited when characters pop up, and it doesn't feel as poppy as what I think CW does. CW does a good job, but it doesn't feel like we're on a cinematic level, even though Barry Allen, did have show up. Yeah, Ezra and Grant were together at one point in, I think it was The Flash. It has to be The Flash, but I know they were doing the crossover events like crazy. I dropped off after a few seasons. They were good. Don't get me wrong. They're good, but they got redundant for me.
Yeah, too much.
Right. Kenny Lint, Kendra, keep up the good work. Gave us $10 and a Purple Heart. Kendra. Thank you, Kendra, so much. Kendra was actually with us when we went to Universal Studios 2 trips ago, and we had a lot of fun there. You can see her in our vlog. And check out her channel as well. I think if you click on her thing in the comment section or in the chat, you can get to her. She does like reading online and teaches her kids. She's a teacher. out of work right now. Kendra, we love you. In fact, we'll send that $10 right back at you so you can invest in the equipment to help teach the kids, because we know it's incredibly important, and we know living in Arizona, you're going to probably get forced to do it very soon. Yeah. So watching Commando in the background, 80s classic Arnold, Steve Anthony. We've got Kind of Gotham, the prequel, Batman Year One. Yeah, I mean, there's different variations of the timeline of Gotham that they can go for, and I would be happy to see any one of them, especially because we're kind of going, it's not, I don't know if it's Year One, but we're going with a younger Batman era, so you're going to see, the younger versions of all the villains, but not like the origin type aspect that we got in Gotham, so... I think it should be following other cops in the force with maybe bring cameos Gordon here and there, absolutely. And what if Batman is around, but they treat him as the unseen force? That's how he could be treated. And if you do get looks on him, it's like, oh my God, what was that? That was him. It's the legend. It's the darkness that we see. The Dark Knight. Would be after Gotham. Bringing in an actor from a movie would be the right move to connect it together, even if it's only for one episode, like Robert said. Absolutely. One episode is all you need. And even just minimally there, have them interact with, a character here or there. Right. They could even film it when they're filming the movie and then just pluck it in wherever they want. Batman is treated as the antagonist for the cops. As you see, Batman is just vigilante working above the law, and they worked hard to try and enforce. That's what I said. I agree. That's how it should be treated the entire time with Batman. And they resent Gordon very much for working with him. And we'll see what level Gordon works with him, too.
Yeah, we watched the first season of Legends of Tomorrow, and then I stopped watching it after that.
Yeah, honestly, it was Rory that got me to watch it. The fact that Rory's there, and Rory is the doctor, essentially. He's like, what is it, a time agent?
Yeah.
But Bill Paxton just turned up before he got the Aliens gig. Hello, friends. God,
Hello.
Bill Paxton, man. He's so amazing, and I miss him so much. And if they make a twist or two, they better do something badass with this character, because he was a wild, what'd they call it? What was the name? Extreme! The Extreme. When he got out naked and chucked the bottle right at have a drink, and chucked it right at the tornado. Hello, friends, CLA World. It's going to be Batman in his second year in the Batman. That's all I was going to say. Year 2 taking place for Batman.
So he's like familiar with who he is, but not still learning.
Of course.
As well.
And for me, that's cool. Like, that's what I'm excited. That's why I'm super excited for Batman. That's why I'm super excited for Gotham. I hope they call it Gotham Central. Like, that would just be cool. Like, keeping with the comic aspect and then just throwing it in there as, now it kind of reminds me of Children's Hospital. Gotham Central, Children's Hospital, General Hospital. I don't know.
Gotham General.
Gotham General. Yeah, that's probably why I got there. That's the connection that I made there. Let's see, the Extreme. Sorry, guys. Came in late. How are you all? We're at the end, Pete.
We're at the end, but, Robert kind of blew it while trying to put it up earlier today. We were just looking through, TikTok and Vine and all those funny
was. I don't touch that stuff.
I do. But there was one that was hilarious. I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there that have seen you can almost drop my croissant. Yeah, so I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw somebody create a rendition of that, and it just made me
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant!
She was laughing for it felt like 30 minutes yesterday. And I started laughing because it was freaking hilarious. But yeah, stuff like that, I feel like we can start putting into the streams, little funny things that we come across. We'll start adding them to the stream once we get the Stream Deck XL, which thank you guys for all your investment into this channel, for the live stream, the Stream Labs, the Super Chats. In fact, let's get in here. Keep up the good work. That was Ken. We got Alex. We got Patrick. We got Gallegos. We got Matt G. We got all you guys donating, and we appreciate it. It goes right back in here.
Yes,
so things will get a little bit more fluent. We'll have some more goodies and fun popping up for the streams. Eventually, we'll get to the gaming. It's all ready. We got it set up, but we need to incorporate that workload because it is kind of tough to be able to do that. But either way, thank you guys for watching episode 5 of Late in the Week. If you liked it, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. You can also do the thing
on our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram.
Show rappers spitting some fire. all the social networking gin joints, you know where they are. Kick into the party, fuel the party, keep the party going. Also on our Patreon. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you, I guess, 2 weeks unless a whole bunch of news drops. Gallegos, look at that. Love your stuff, guys. $2 more.
Thank you.
Severin, off-topic DC
Appreciate
best content
it.
I've seen in Harley Quinn animation. We need to watch it. We haven't watched it yet. Maybe we'll get a reaction going for that.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much. And as always,
Now it's time to say goodbye.
this party is over.
Bye.
Bye.